So guys, today's been a really, really amazing day. I know I'm gonna be posting this a bit later, but let's get ready with me. Ready. So, what I wanted to talk about is today was the day that it was like a six-planet alliance, which is really important day. So today is the 20th of January. I hope all of you all really did well this day. I know I'm going to be posting this probably like 28th or something, because I'm really just getting a hold of this whole blogging situation, but I'm sure in just a few months or a few weeks I'm just gonna be so really an expert about it. So let's really get this unreadiness started. And what I wanted to talk about today was the syndrome of being a perfectionist, which I bloody hate, because all of my life, I thought I need to do better all the time. I had this, let's say, the ego mindness in my head, like this little voice that always telling me to do good, which is really the worst thing that you can do when you want to level up, when you want to accelerate in your work, in your work-life balance, etc. When you have this little voice in your head always telling you that you can do better, is an absolute killer. So before I talk about this further, I wanted to share my skin routine, or whatever you want to call it. So this is oh my god, the water. This is Amaravica, which is really amazing brand that I use. I love it. This is already finished, and I actually got this when I was a bit more baller. I mean, the skincare is really a premium one, which I really love. I used to, and I still do, get like presents for collaborations, etc., and just overall from my friends. So this is a really good cream. Like face wash, which I really like, but it's like a really creamy texture, as you can see. And I really just kind of like use it like that, just wash my face off. So yeah, like the perfectionism, the problem is with perfectionism and acceleration. Some of you obviously think that like the perfectionism inside your mind will drive you to accelerate more. But the problem is, hold on, let me just get all the lashes. But the problem is this happening to you all when you feel like all the cuts that you have to wash all this cream off? How do people do it? When I started vlogging, it was like ages ago, and every time I quit because my life, happens, and I have to start over, and there's like another level of things that you have to do. About 5 years ago, if I posted this without editing, I would get like 100 million likes, but like this is a different story. But anyways, I was talking about perfectionism. So when you reach a level where you think you're doing good, the problem is that little voice is never bloody satisfied. And the moment that you reach the destination that you had in your mind, let's say 2 years ago, you already have another 20 goals or 20 ideas that you can do better. I mean, that's at least, that's my problem. And this is something that I realized. And a dear friend of mine, recently actually, pointed out something really interesting. But before I say this, let me tell you about this serum. I think I'm like the best salesperson in this because you want to hear more. But this is 1 Skin London. This is really great serum. And this is the repair serum that I got. Sometimes I usually use it in the evening. Sometimes I use it in the daytime. For the daytime, this is looking awful. For the daytime, I've got this Amaravica Vitamin C, and I've got 1 Skin as well, retinol oil, which I will share a bit later. So yeah, I just use like a dash like this, as you can see, and I rub it especially across my fine lines that I have, and around my face. It's really good for evening out your skin tone. And actually, jumping off the topic, what really helped my skin, I used to have a lot of acne. What really helped my skin is the peels. So I do PRX Italian peels about every 3 months, and I love it. The results are amazing, and actually all of your fine lines that here, I actually like decided not to do any Botox. I used to do Botox, as you can see when I do this, it goes like this, but it's really just mimics. One, I have my face neutral, as you can see. Not a lot is happening. I mean, I'm looking a bit tight, but it's looking, I think, really rather well. These lines are really bothering me right now. But anyways, so yeah, what I was saying. Yeah, and it's really good for you because what I love to go to Banya, if you're obviously international, I don't know who's listening to this, who's Russian or whatever, Eastern European, you know what Banya is, you can skip forward. But Banya, it's a Eastern European spa, and it's just like a sauna experience. But the difference between Banya and like a Finnish sauna, let's say, is that in Finnish sauna, it's all really fucking dry. Like, I absolutely hate it. It's dry as a motherfucker, and you sit there for like 20-30 minutes until you actually start sweating. So it's not really efficient for me. Like, the person that I am, like, I'm quite quick in ways. Like, I want it, like, you know, like the extreme way, fucking hot and fucking cold. Like, give it to me, like, up and down. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm Sagittarius, I'm just like that. But so yeah, and Russian sauna, it's actually really humid. It's really high in temperature, but the minute that you step in, you actually just start sweating straight away, and it's not water. I mean, it is water first, you sweat out the water. And you probably seen it in movies, they hit you with branches. It's really not painful, so don't worry. It's really not painful experience. It's actually really pleasant. So what, you have different trees, like you know, like white branch and God, I forgot English now. Anyways, all these different trees, and what it does in different trees, obviously you have the aroma, and you have the aroma oils in the trees, so they really release all of that wealth and all of that amazing properties in your skin, while your skin and your pores are open. So it's really important for you. And afterwards you have the cold plunge, which is amazing. And as well, they have it, sometimes they do banya, where you have like an experience with different smells, like garlic, which is really amazing for, like, if you want to get rid of your, let's say, like spiritual dragons, like spiritual creatures. I don't know if you believe in that, but you know, like if you're into energetic waves. If you want to cleanse as well, you have like different other herbs that they use within the water, that they splash in the stones, and around they put it in a corner. And in Russia, we believe and we say like a mantra when we go in a banya, because in a banya you have different spirits that you have to, let's say, please. So we put these herbs for them to feel great and to help you get rid of that negative energy. So the next is my cream. I'm running out of bloody creams, which is really bad because I love my beauty routines. But I recently got this beauty package from this brand that I'm, let's say, showing. So I'll share it later on my Instagram if you follow me there. And this is Kiehl's. I mean, we're loving Kiehl's. I mean, I think everybody's using this. It's like a standard. It's like a Starbucks for the beauty cream, you know. It's Advanced Repair Barrier Cream. I'm not really super keen on this, if I'm being honest, but this is the only cream that I have left. It's kind of thick, but I don't really feel the moisture. I don't know if it's me, but the gels really moisturize my skin, but when it comes to like thick creams like this, I just feel like they absorb really quickly, but they're not really giving me like much results. But I don't know. That's just my skin, I guess. And over the years, my skin has become more dry, which I'm actually happy about, because my skin is getting tighter and I have like less acne, which is really good. Like, yeah, like, I'm pleased about that. So, the perfectionism. So yeah, when you get to the stage where you're not pleased with your results, and this is really bad because, like, I'm the person that I have suffered with depression, with panic attacks all my life. So what you get? You have anxiety. Your fucking best friend of perfectionism, if you don't start treating it. What do I mean by treating it? So, my friend told me the story. Let's say she's a psychologist and she is my best friend. And she said to me, Sophia, we were talking about like my relationships and how I don't have one at the moment, but whatever, you know, I used to date this English guy for 5 years who was supposed to have everything together, but life just happened. But it's fine, I'm really happy without it. I mean, he's married right now, like hello, but whatever, like got married. He got engaged within like 5 months of this new relationship, but we've been together for 5 years. Like that completely shocked me at the time when I heard the news about a year ago, but whatever. I mean, good luck to him. He's a really great guy. Went separate ways. I'm happy for him. I'm sure his standard pay wage pension life will be great. I'm sorry, I'm so bitter. I really don't understand what is my mean today, but and yeah, so the perfection, and I asked her the real question. I said, like, can you put your psychologist on the mode on? And I said to her, why do you think I am like not meeting the right guy right now? I was in a relationship about half a year ago, and like we broke up. And she said, Sophie, you have this one thing, you're really competitive. So when you talk, sometimes you put your story up front. So what I mean by that is that, like, for example, you would talk with somebody at work and you'd be like, oh yes, I had this experience too. Oh yeah, you know, I heard this story too. And your friend is telling you something, oh yes, you know, I felt sad about this too. And it's always like, I felt this, I said this, rather than really listening and reflecting on the story and then bringing it up when the person is finishing. And I realized this is all linked to perfectionism. Perfectionism that is driving you, and you're always like seeking that attention because you're always thinking you're not doing good enough. You wanted to get the validation, I don't know, from the world telling you you're great, you're good, but because it is so deep rooted inside you that it's never gonna go away until you're gonna really punch that trauma, you're gonna really work through it and become best friend with it and just release it and say goodbye, you know what I mean? And then she said, I have this meditation, so I think this is like your childhood trauma, because most of our traumas come from childhood. And I said, wow, how come? Like, I worked my way through it. Maybe it's something to do with me living to UK when I was 13 years old. I used to live in Russia, and then I had to, live my life basically and go to another country, go to another place where I don't know anybody as a child. My parents didn't come with me, so I used to live alone from 13 years old. And she said, no, it's nothing have to do with your attention seeking, let's say trauma. I don't know how to translate it into English. And she said to me, something to do with when you were a child, for example, I don't know, you had a brother and your parents said something, oh, look at him, he's doing so much better. I don't know, it's something, or like, it could be something really minor, but the psychology of the child really got affected by that point, and you started sort of blaming yourself, and you always and you thought at the time, I could do better to please somebody. Oh, I could have done something better or something different at that point not to get that result. So that trauma, which I'm trying to root right now, I'm having some meditations right now given by my friend, so I'm trying to pinpoint that moment in my childhood by, let's say, like hypnotic meditation, which is the only way I could do it probably, rather than regression, because a regression is about looking in your past life. But yeah, this has really got me thinking, and you know what I realized is like, it's really, really interesting. And then she said to me, Sophia, I mean, have a look at your life recently, like your recent guy that you have been dating. I was like, yeah. Oh, well, he's like a KHL or whatever, NHL, like NHL, KHL, like professional hockey player. He's from Canada, which I've been seeing for a bit. And she was like, oh, you've seen him because your sister started dating a hockey player as well. And I was like, wait, how is this relatable? Like I just completely we completely met randomly. How you pinpointing this? And she was like, your ego inside you, your ego straight away correlates with your child. And your ego is like the defense wall, or let's say this father figure for your trauma that is always trying to defend and always trying to compete around the world. So you're not getting this, let's say, happy vibes in your life, you know what? Again, anyways. So yeah, this is my story. Which was really interesting for me because I realized a lot of things that day. I realized that a lot of decisions that I have made and I have tried and I thought I worked on were reliable on this trauma. And the perfectionism is one of them. For example, I think my product or my company is never good enough and I'm not launching this because I have to make it the perfect way for it to be seen. And when I launch it, guess what? I'm going to redo it again and I'm going to redo it again because I think there's always something better, because there's 10 people will come along and say something to me and feedback and whatever, and I will change it. And it's not really always the healthy way. And I realized what really helps me as well is to celebrate the small winnings. I mean, you probably heard all of this. I mean, this is really not news. This is just my story. This is just my character. This is just my vlog of telling you something that really, let's say, clicks with me. And I'm being absolutely real here, you know, like I'm looking absolutely normal, like no filters, no nothing, just telling you something that really correlates with me. And I wanted to share with you about the perfectionism. And I will leave some tips in the comments as well, how to deal with perfectionism and why, again, it really affects you and why you should get rid and try to get rid of this, because, you know, it's a false culture moment when we see Wolf of Wall Street and striving to do good, but then everybody just fucking ends up in jail. I mean, like, this is not life, you know. And I've seen this short movie, and whilst I watched it, there were some quotes, and it says that always, you know, you can choose a right path or you can choose an easy path, and it really is always a question, guys. And a right path is the one that correlates with your soul, that correlates with, you know, all of those feel-good emotions, something that you want to do. With the person you want to be, you know, the way that you want to look, being happy with your body, being happy with your results, and that's really important. So, anyways, I am going to bed. A little vlog series. I don't know, just I did with my hair, and going to be putting my glasses on in a minute. Yeah, hello, Harry Potter. I can do a British accent if I want to, but I don't want to because I'm a Russian girl. Yeah. Good night. Mwah.